В предишния епизод на Камифуда срещнах Три на неочаквано място, до счупения печат на вратата, водеща към забранения коридор. Тя тестваше някакъв изобретен от нея магически детектор. Когато докоснах детектора, някак бях телепортиран в миналото й и поговорих с малката Три, която лежеше болна на легло и се самообвиняваше, че е причината за нещастието на родителите й. Оказа се, че съм припаднал тогава и се събудих по-късно в стаята си под зоркия поглед на професор Ихарам, който ставаше все по-подозрителен към мен. Трябва да спра с другите глупости и да се съсредоточа върху играта си на Камифуда. Време е да се приготвя за сценка с Лун, тъй като нямам нищо по-добро за правене сега, освен Лун, нали, после ще ида на основната сцена. On the hour, a distant clock tower tolls and I am reminded that I promised Lun some aid today. I scurry over to our meeting place near the center of campus. Hopefully he won't mind me being a few minutes late. All these pages don't even fit inside the clipboard. I know. Isn't it great? I've got so many questions on my survey. I try to force the gargantuan stack of papers beneath the clipboard's metallic clip one last time. It doesn't work. Aren't surveys usually supposed to be short? How are we going to convince people to fill this all out? Great question. He continues smiling at me in silence. Lun? Huh? Oh yes, the initial ask might be difficult. But I'm sure once they've heard how these screenings will improve their students' lives, they'll be jumping at the chance to answer our questions. Oh, Lun, Gurkie Lun. I flipped through the humongous packet, stopping at the last page to check the numbers on the margin. 484. That's way too many questions, even for me, and I volunteered to help him. But I glance at the giddy fool's big old smile. Alright, man, if you say so. So, who's our first victim? Emphasis on the word victim. Well, if he sticks to his routine, he should be turning this corner right about... Hey there, Quizzo! The poor thing's so startled, Quizzo nearly jumps out of his skin. But he approaches Lun sheepishly nonetheless. Good afternoon. And to you. Listen, bud. We're doing a bit of survey that I think you'd be the perfect candidate for. I'm hoping it will help students on campus if it's implemented. But I need to test it out on a few people first. Care to help? Survey. Lun takes in Quizzo's timid, if not confused demeanor. Sounds like consent to me. What? It does? First question. Already? Do familiar surroundings sometimes seem strange, confusing, threatening, or unreal to you? Quizzo tilts his head like a small pup trying to understand. A few moments of intensive silence pass, and his eyes seem to gloss over with a milky white. Inside the stone, the roots howl. They grow from a seedling, planted under a parish down. Okay, if you were to qualify that as a yes or no, which would it be? They subsist in a carcass, inanimate, waiting for eternity's end. I would just mark that as prefer not to say. Tarot, want to take the next one? Not really. I'd say that'd help him though, so... Okay, Quizzo. Have you heard any unusual sounds like banging, hissing, clapping, or ringing in your ears? Banging? Ringing? He shakes his head. When the stone speaks, it does so softly, through birds and the gentle caress of the afternoon breeze. I see. I think that's probably yes, right? I glance at Loon for confirmation on what he would like me to record when we spot Quizzo already halfway down the hallway, leaning out a 5th-story window. At least the 4 crows begin to hop onto his back and shoulders as he begins to ask them how their day has been. He and the birds begin to exchange strange but heartwarmingly polite cooing sounds. Loon? Yes, Tarot. I think you may have reached for the stars a bit with this first one. You're probably right. Maybe someone a bit more down to earth to start. I give him an affirmative nod. Oh, oh my god. A few minutes later. That can't possibly be your answer. Of course it is. My answer is truth, and the truth is my answer. Loon's head flushes near scarlet. His fists are clenched so hard, I worry his nails might dig into his palms and draw blood. Yes or no? In the last few weeks, have you persistently felt tired or had little energy? Vix gives a plaintive shrug. My energy levels are difficult to gauge these last days. After all, the psychic vampires which rule this school have been feasting on our sweetling dreams. They come when we are asleep, though only at the behest of their reptilian overlords. Don't fret though, so long as you do not dream or anything vulgar, they won't drink more than their fill. Actually, you're looking a little tired, Loon. Have you had yourself a few dirty dreams? Naughty, naughty. Woman, I swear to... Loon inhales through his nose and then out his mouth. Thank you for your time, Vix. I think that's all we need from you today. Are you sure? There looks to be another 100 or so pages in there. I think we got it, thanks. Always happy to help. She waves as she steps out of the club room. Bye, Tarot. With Vix gone, the club room quiets again. Loon takes a moment to look over his notes from the last 2 survey takers, both hugely unsuccessful. So what's your plan now? Well, I admit, we've gotten off to a rough start, but luckily I mentioned the survey to Seven a few weeks ago in passing, and she agreed to help. Even said she thought it was a really good idea, so I'm hoping this last attempt will go a bit more smoothly. Oh, poor Soyu. Uh-huh. What? What's with that look? Nothing. It's clearly something. I trust your intuition. Let's go. He gives me a suspicious look, but ultimately finds his boundless optimism infused smile. We head back to the dormitory shortly after. After the day we've had thus far, I try my best to ignore my gut instinct that something else is likely to go horribly wrong. 20 minutes later, unfortunately, said instinct is proved entirely correct. What do you mean we can't speak with her? My daughter has spent quite some time neglecting the more practical aspect of her studies.
If she wishes to continue her creative writing work, she'll need to finish a workbook of practicums I have assigned to her. She is not to be disturbed until then.
Are you sure you couldn't make an exception for just 20 minutes or so? Lun has some pretty important...
No.
Please, Professor. I'm collecting survey information for my mental health initiative, and I really need 7's input.
Quite a dog bird, aren't you? In that case, I am reminded you two were spotted in this hallway just earlier today.
Yeah, and...
And someone left the window a few holes down open. It is now positively caked in bird feces.
Yeah, we spoke with Quizzo earlier. He probably...
Good. You are aware of the window I speak then. With a snap of his fingers, a pair of mops and soapy buckets appear in mist at his feet. You'll be good little caretakers of our institution then, and clean this infestation, huh?
You've gotta be kidding me.
Oh? You'd like to clean the entire hallway? Such kind, responsible boys.
Shit. We are on it, sir.
What?
But Lun grabs me by the shoulder. He sequesters us with our new cleaning tools in a corner as Ihram returns to his post at 7's door. If we leave now, he won't even... Come on, we should have paid Quizzo more attention anyway. Besides, maybe if we help, it will ease his mood a bit. Then we might be able to give 7 another shot at the survey.
Seriously?
I mean, you don't have to come, Tarot. I know it's asking a lot of you.
No, I'll help. Come on, let's get this over with.
Lun happily grabs a mop and a bucket, and I reluctantly follow. We head back to the window in question. I gag at the sight. An entire layer of white and green specked feces layers the expanse of the windowsill. Geez, those crows really did a number on this place. The hell are these things eating? This thing was spotless like an hour ago. Yeah, they are certainly getting their fiber. Does fiber help birds, you know? I stare back at him. Right, not sure why I thought you'd know that. The two of us get to work. Luckily, Lun knows a little hydromancy, which is good considering a couple pails of water isn't nearly enough. But even with magical bursts of water and some strategic pyromancy to burn some of the gnarlier sections straight off the stone, it takes us nearly 45 minutes to even make a dent. This is ridiculous. Sorry man, didn't mean to drag you into this. But hey, look, at least the window is clean for Quizzo's next adventure. Lun, I gotta be honest, I don't really get you.
Huh?
This whole day has been a mess. Quizzo seemed incapable of answering our questions, Vix just plain fucked with us, and Ihram turned us into his own personal cleaning crew. And now you're thrilled Quizzo has got a clean space to frolic, even though he was the one who caused this in the first place. You can be serious, right, aren't you? I don't know, annoyed? Frustrated? I mean, come on, complain. Commiserate, something. When you put it like that, I guess the day was a bit of a wreck. But that just makes for a good story, right?
I doubt you'll forget it anytime soon. Seriously, is this guy on happy pills or something? Alright, real talk. Have you always been this cheery? Always? Yeah, like, were you born with sunshine coming out of your ass? Well, I guess not. Maybe I started thinking this way when I was 12 or so. I told you my folks are loaded, right? Well, we used to spend our summers in this little town in the Spanish countryside. When we had a vacation home there. I used to play with some of the local boys, you know, sports and stuff. Jumping into rivers, skipping rocks, summer fun. Except, it was more than just summer fun for me. Ah man, through this, I had it bad for this one kid. His name was Luis, and he was my first love. Well, if you can call it that. I remember splashing around in the river one day with all the guys, and I saw him in just his suit and I knew. I think he knew how I felt. He was a couple of years older and pretty sharp. Anyway, near the end of the summer, the town held a fireworks festival. It was a really exclusive event, quickly sold out and all that. Какво селото си продава билети за фестивала ли, бе? За събора такива. Вход за събора на селото. My parents were huge contributors to the festival, though. Financially, I mean. I guess Luis must have heard as much through the grapevine and figured I could get tickets. He asked me if I would go with him. My heart must have literally skipped a beat. So I got us some tickets, and lo and behold, I met him just outside of the park. I remember I was almost late because I tried on like 20 different shirts, and I must have wet and re-wet my hair at least half a dozen times just to get the shape of it right. I took him all around the festival. We spent hours going through the stalls. I bought him food and souvenirs, and anyway, when night fell and the fireworks were just a few minutes away, I remember looking to my left and realizing he wasn't over my shoulder anymore. I couldn't find him anywhere. And the fireworks were about to start. I remember running up a hill just as the first bloom of the red exploded in the sky. And there I saw him. He was with Teresa, a girl who used to hang around us sometimes. And they were making out under a tree. Oh man, Tarot, it felt like my heart snapped in fucking two. And then someone smashed it with a hammer over and over. And I knew he didn't feel the same way as me, but it's still... I mean, I was standing there miserable and about to bawl my eyes out. Until I looked at him as he put his arms around her and they started watching the fireworks. And my god, did he have the biggest fucking smile. And I thought, yeah, this hurts, it really fucking hurts. But wow, look how happy he is. And I did that. Or at least I helped. And that made it all feel a little bit better. I thought, however small, I made his day. And I guess for me, I thought that could be enough. I can't help but feel a storm of goosebumps read over my skin. I still lose face. It is a strange mixture of wistfulness and nostalgia for halcyon days, and a deep veiled mourning That's a beautiful sentiment, Loon. But I can't help but feel he just took advantage of you. Maybe, maybe not. Does it really matter? Does making people happy like that actually make you happy, Loon? And if doing stuff like this really does make you happy, then that's great. I'm glad for you. But if even a part of you is, still hurts, no matter how small, I think it's a disservice to you to ignore that. Compassion for others isn't the only form of love, Loon. Self-love exists too. You're a good friend, Tarot. A real good friend. Despite that, he says nothing more for the rest of this afternoon. We spent another 20 minutes finishing up the bird-plagued window. And in all that time, Loon barely looks at me. I start to wonder if I went too far, pushed too hard. Maybe I shouldn't have said anything at all. When we say our goodbyes, he flashes me the same toothy grin that he always does. But this time around, it doesn't leave me with warmth. All I feel on the way back to my dorm is numb. Numbness and frustration. Because I'm sure now, surer than sure, that around Fair Loon is a wall, thick and invisible. And I'm not sure he wants me to see what's on the other side. Окей. Добре. Я да погледнем набързо какво ни предлага отново магазинера, ако е предложил нещо ново. Мисля, че няма нищо ново. Лопс, взех я без да искам карта, няма значение, се тая. Малко Pyromancy евентуално. Не. Чува се с Pyromancy-то. Всички магии печелят вампиризъм. Може би нямаше да е зле, но нека да оставим така нещата. Нещо, което искам да направя със сигурност е да сменя плеймата и съм си приготвил специфичен плеймат за тази част. От импорт ще избера плеймата, който съм си приготвил. Тъй като съм голям фен на Yu-Gi-Oh! И най-вече на Мадолче тестето, това ми е любимото тесте. Намерих един Мадолче плеймат, който е в така унисон с плейматовете от тази игра. Леко с така секси привкус. Това е Мадолче Маджелин, една от основните карти в Мадолче архетипа. Не съм сигурен дали не е прекалено цветен плеймата и дали няма да е труден за използване. Ще го десатурирам за следващия епизод, ако се наложи. Но за сега нека да го тестваме на първо място. With 15 minutes past the scheduled time for my training to start and still no tutor in sight, I feel my time with one of the few fiction books I managed to find in the university library. At least I hope it's fiction. Oh dear. I turn the page to a particularly juicy bit just when the door flies open, slamming into the wall. I seriously came out all this way and you're reading right now? Ah, Seven's my tutor today. Fantastic. I was just passing the time, seeing as you were late and all. Yeah, some of us actually have lives outside its clubroom, new blood. But that Ice Queen, 3, twisted my arm, so here we are. I stifle a sigh. 7 wouldn't be my temperament of choice for a teacher, but it's better I make the best of it. Well, thanks. Regardless, I appreciate it. So what am I learning today? Learning? The way I heard it, I get to throw spells at you for an hour. Wonderful. Well, that kind of spells I'm getting thrown at... what kind of spells I'm getting thrown at me? You ever seen someone throw a fucking fireball? It's as great as it sounds. I have to admit, despite my doubts about her teaching skills, there is something visceral that stirs in my chest at the opportunity to summon fire. That actually sounds like it might be a lot of fun, provided you let me throw a few fireballs back. Like you have a second to breathe. Take note, fire isn't like all the other primal magics, alright? Fire is alive. Fire is power and passion and soul. And if you forget that for even a moment, it'll burn you from the inside out. There are no passive pyromancers. Hesitate, doubt yourself for a second, and the flames will make your decision for you. And not for your benefit. But there's a balance too. Become too rash, let the flames control you, and they'll burn you from the inside out. So if you want to sit here and learn how to shoot safe, little embers from your fingertips, you better tell me now. Because you won't survive my training. There is something in me, something deep, and it's akin to fire. Ever since I woke in the Pale Gardens, when I sleep I dream of our old home, I dream of the night it burned. There is something in me innately drawn to those flames, and I like it. I like their power. That scares me. Earth to Tarot, you quitting or are we doing this? I snap my deck, the powers within Thrum and within my chest. For the first time that I've dueled, I feel something burning, calling me to war. Let's see what you've got, Seven. Ha! Try not to die. Добре, какво мога да противопоставя на Fire? Не съм сигурен дали тази комбинация конкретна от Pyromancy и Eldermancy би се противопоставила добре. Струва ми се, че има пропуски, но нека да пробваме. Може би също така флеши и търчета ще са не лош вариант. Но пък Life Leech... Нека да пробваме. И да видим сега какво става. До първи ход. Не бива съм свръхагресивен. Не е много добър всъщност, защото няма много карти за игра, но окей. Играем го. За жалост, нищо не направих. Просто нямам карти за тегляне. Много мал шанс. Мал шанс просто. Трябва някак си да опазя тази стена. Тия не мога ги изигра, защото ще се счупят. Influence 1. Bulwark. Поне ще мине инфлуенса май. Ма тя сега има 3 инфлуенс, ще ме разбие. Това е нехуманно просто. Добре. А тя е първа. Чудесно. Супер честната карта, принципно. Чува сега дали ще имам достатъчно за изигране. Аре, то път ще свръх агресивна стратегия. Давай да пробваме. Shit. Не е гениално начало. Особено когато няма ми влезе карта, която е се тегля на карти и сега аз реално губя дуела, защото няма какво да играя. Просто няма какво да играя. Аз трябваше да си спестя този демидж. А не, мога да оцелея. Мога да оцелея. Ще поемам много демидж. Минус 3, обаче сега ритуалите като минат ще стана с много. 30 нещо. Another bad hand. Doesn't matter how bad your hand is when you don't suck. Ха. Така ще кажеш. Катализейшън, ако можеше да го взема малко по-рано. Не мога да разчитам, че извадя Blood Curse. Но пък мога да разчитам, че извадя това. Ще остана точно на 0, ако не касна тази магия. А не, аз имам Life Leech. Бива. Не съм гениален, но ситуацията въобще не е добре всъщност. Добре. Имам ли шанс? Мисля, че имам шанс. Да. Победата е моя. Yes! Много агресивна стратегия, но си струваше. Макар, че няма голям късмет. What? The hell, newbie? Did you cheat? How would I cheat? The duel literally comprises of casting spells at one another. You counter my deck with your cards or something? I can feel it. As if. Then fucking prove it. The next 2 hours pass very slowly as 7 descends into blinder and blinder anger with each consecutive match. Though if it's any consolation, it's the most thorough an hour или match или word, може би сега не прочетах предното изречение. It's the most thorough and harrowing bout of duels I've had yet. Да, значи е бил матч. Making her a good teacher in her own way.